Pretty involved. I look at myself quite a bit as a support person, a cheerleader. I feel like I'm always here from a leadership or a vision standpoint to be able to help and to be able to support the team. But the reality is my coordinator, Brian Carter, has a really great feel for the team, and Kelly Martins and those people that really are in great leadership roles that want the team to do very, very well. I try to do my best to basically support them. I feel like we have a great relationship. I'm proud of that relationship. We travel around the world, and that's definitely how I want to keep growing the team, is by adding people and try to make their vision their reality.
Here's what ideal situation is that monthly I can have a sit down with the coordinator and go through objectives and focuses and growth areas and goals for shows or things of that type. Certain times of year it's recruiting, that we need to go through recruiting and what's going to happen with training, things of that type. So that's kind of a monthly thing. Constant email and text happen pretty regularly with the coordinator and with my involvement in the program. I try to attend all the key event functions because I just believe those are super duper important and those people are super duper important. Some select traditional event meetings as well I'll try to attend. And then obviously the beginning of every training I try to be involved in that as well. So my involvement kind of is at every level because I do believe pretty heavily in the event program.
High in terms of awareness, not extremely high in terms of like amount of time that I spend necessarily at the meetings and that type of stuff. My awareness in terms of what's going on, who's working what, where people are at for the campaign, issues, that kind of stuff. I'm really aware of that. I also am very involved with recruiting people to be on the team. So this is really, I really focus a lot of my energy. I feel like this is the DVM's job, is to promote the opportunity that is the events program. The other area is meeting with our coordinator, Seth Kinzer, and I. We meet before each events meeting. He and I will get some time together to make sure the agenda is tight and that he's just prepared and ready to go. Kind of some checks and balances to make sure that he's running the best meeting that he can and providing great leadership. The other area I would say is that I'm involved in would be any personnel issues. I try and do as much of that as possible through our coordinator so that the decisions are coming from them, because I don't want to take away any of their authority. But, I'd say I'm a sounding board quite often for our main 2-3 run our program.
Early on, when we were first starting the program and developing our systems and standards and policies, I was a lot more involved. As Robert and Curtis have developed into unbelievable leaders and mentors, certainly my involvement has scaled back. We have a monthly Fair and Show team meeting. As long as I'm in town, I'm part of that meeting, delivering a personal or professional development message or goal setting. Certainly nothing about selling knives, because I have no business teaching my CSPs how to sell more knives. We also have a monthly coordinator meeting between myself, Robert, and Curtis, and that's where we talk about our systems and necessary program changes. And we also talk about individual reps on our team and how we can help serve them better. I try to do as much one-on-one work with our CSP team and our show team members as possible. So anybody on the show team typically has a one-on-one call with me each campaign to go over their goals and planning and just touch base and strengthen our relationship. Every so often we try to get a lunch or a dinner or some type of meal together just to spend some good quality time one-on-one. My CSPs never refuse a free meal.
As a DVM, I guess I would have to say that I'm passively active with our group of people. I put a lot of trust in our coordinators. That being said, I keep my finger on the pulse. One of the ways that we do this is with a campaign meeting. We do a meeting with our coordinators to go over policies, any changing, staffing, any type of payoffs that we might be running. We have a monthly conference call, the coordinators and myself. We do usually have a fun event, either each campaign or a big payoff event for the year. I try to speak whenever I can for any team trainings or meetings as well, just to stay current myself as a DVM.
Our events team is like the best office in our entire division. I try to look at them as a group of amazing individuals that really get a chance to move the needle the most. There's a really fantastic culture in that organization. Really great culture in the way our people feel in the events program. So much to the point where, Brian and I have talked many times about how do we do that with our district and branch managers. How do we help have that culture wherever we go.
It is extremely important to North Star Division. I view our events team on equal ground with our district manager team for a lot of reasons. We have a vibrant program, we have a vibrant team, we have extremely intelligent and driven people that are on our team that are career-oriented individuals, and that's what we want on our district manager team as well. I try and operate our division, whereas there's no, like, the DM is not greater than a CSP on an event team, and the CSP is also not greater than a DM, but they all are in career positions with our business.
I view it kind of as a district office. In my opinion, the event program is a district office. And the coordinator is really kind of like the district manager of that office. And in the case of the Lone Star Division, I mean, it's 15 to 25% of our sales every single year that come from the event program. So it's not just a district office, it actually is our number one district office. So I view it as kind of a top performing level. So that's why I believe spending time on planning with it, focus, time with the people, movement in the program are all positive things, positive time spent in order to make the program the best that it can be.
Our events team is a big pillar in our division. Our events program here in Cavalier is one of the things that we've been focused on growing now for the past 5, if not 6 years. The bottom line is our division won't reach its goals if our events program isn't growing and reaching its individual goals. So it is a huge part of our organization, a huge part of the success here in Cavalier.
Well, this is a tricky question because our events team and our show team is such a huge component of our division. You can't really just take pieces out. Everything works so closely together. One of the strategic decisions that Robert and Curtis and Tui and I made over 10 years ago was that we wanted to build all of our programs with the idea of strengthening our CSP community and our district manager team simultaneously. So we've made a lot of program decisions over the years that have strengthened both. Another example of how our CSP team and our show team fits into our divisional program is that our branch program is so closely intertwined with CSP development. One of the strategic decisions that Curtis and Robert and I made over the years was that we want our branch manager candidates to experience the show team and have the opportunity, whether it's before, during, or after their branch. And then we also want all of our CSPs to experience management, because in order to run your own business, it's beneficial to be able to run a branch office, be an assistant manager, help others manage their business. Also, the best way to learn is to teach. So our CSPs are really focused on teaching, whether that's being involved on an office level in some capacity or on our mentor program. It's always a give and take relationship, which helps develop all of our people. So we want to make sure that there's not a two-path mentality. In a lot of divisions, and certainly early on in my Cutco years, there was always the debate of management versus FSM. And in our division, it's all one program. It's called development. You sell a lot of knives and you learn how to lead, and you either lead yourself or you lead other people, but it's all the same. And it's a lot of the same skill sets too. So our show team members are so influential in the division, and that respect that I just mentioned is so important. I see and I know and I value the influence of each CSP to their individual office and to the division, whether it's conferences or division meetings or stopping by training. Our CSP community is so influential to our new reps, to our managers, and I want to make sure that I show that and show my appreciation, whether it's through Dirty 30 events or CSP dinners every once in a while, or our annual CSP cruise. Our CSP team gets to see a lot of appreciation and respect from the management team, and vice versa. Our CSP team is really great at showing their appreciation by influencing their DMs and the reps in their offices.
I think it starts with finding out why there isn't a productive relationship.
It's usually just past miscommunication, I assume, is what would be the reason behind this. Not enough time with that individual. So I would say try and open up the lines of communication as much as you can.
Just spend time.
For me, it's all about time.
I would just try to meet for lunch, meet for breakfast, meet for some time.
Ask for time. Don't be afraid to ask for time. Your DVMs are really good at what they do, but they're not mind readers. I know I always had an issue with this myself. Up and coming in the business was asking for time for my division manager or my region manager or what have you. And it's okay to fight for that time.
The things I think would be important for you to share or to discuss with your DVM would be ask to get in the calendar. Share your intentions so the DVM knows where you're coming from. It's not just like, this is my intention of our meeting, but this is what I want to do for 2019. This is what I'd like to see. This is what I see for myself over the course of the next 3 years. I think those types of conversations can help you get aligned with your DVM.
And talk about the goals of the division. I would talk about goals of the division, goals of what the division manager is trying to accomplish at the current time, and how you can support those goals and support those things.
Stay humble. Trust me when I say that your DVM wants what's best for the division. They want what's best for you. Don't demand things and say, oh, we need this or we need that. The conversation, if that's what it is, probably is not going to last that long.
You can talk about your goals. Okay, that's fine. But try to bring it back to what is out there the division manager is trying to impact, and how you can be an impact on that particular on those particular areas, and figure out some places where you can make an impact, where you can start building a relationship, and then continue that process consistently.
Offer to give back. I love our coordinators in Cavalier because they're always willing to give back. They want to speak at team meetings. They want to speak at divisional events. They want to speak at conferences in the region. And I think this is important. I think giving back is a big part of leadership. I think giving back is a big part of developing oneself, especially if we want to be a leader on an events team or a coordinator and somebody who has that leadership role and or title.
What do you need to see from me? And be open to constructive criticism, right? Maybe there's some things that somebody's done in the past, or maybe there's some rubbing, if you will, between individuals that just wasn't healthy for the business that happened in the past. Like, people, Vector, we're in the business of giving people second, third, and fourth chances. And that's what's great about our business.
Don't be afraid to bring things to the table, but just make sure that you do it in a respectful way.
If there's something from the past that you kind of hold a grudge, if you will, or if there's some kind of thing maybe with the DVM related to that, kind of got to give up the past in that respect. We're all going to make mistakes. We're going to make mistakes a lot of times. Josh can probably relate to this one pretty heavily in the process of getting the event program started in the Lone Star division, which was one of the inaugural ones across our company. Man, I made tons of poor decisions and mistakes that Josh probably wanted to cut my head off for. He made some things where I was like, I didn't really agree with him either. But the end game is we both knew that we always had the greater good in mind. We were always trying to make decisions for that greater good.
Be open and honest with your division manager. I always feel it's the best policy and the best advice I could give anybody who wants to start a relationship with someone. Like I said, be respectful, but don't be afraid to share what's on your mind. But with that, what's working, what's not working? How do we want to move this relationship forward? Where do you want to see change? And more importantly, how are you going to change? And how are we all together going to change to make things better?
It always comes down to time. Whether it's at the office or outside the office or wherever you're most effective, getting time with your DVM really does matter, especially if they feel like that you're not just a CPO line item. They're someone that adds value, that they can help, the DVM can help add value to you. I think that's really, really important.
So I think if you meet with the DVM, have those conversations, and then check in every so often, I think that's a good start anyways at forging that stronger relationship. Next question. This one's really simple. What do I wish my events team would do more of when it comes to relationship with me? Probably just gifts. I think that if I got more gifts from them, that'd be better.
Just stop by and visit your local office a little bit more. It's important to realize the influence and the power that you have as a CSP on new reps. You have to realize that you are literally a human god walking in the office, and as humble and as modest as you are, it's important to realize that you can impact somebody just by a quick hello, a quick handshake, or a small interaction, and also realize that your DMs, they feed off of you as well. So So, if you're doing service calls in an area and there's an office nearby, just pop your head in and say hi to the local district manager. It really helps a ton, and it helps bring the community together and bring your division together. So the second thing that I would say is to learn how to ask for help.
I don't know if this is just Lone Star based, but let me just tell you, the people in the Lone Star division, I don't really have anything that I can say that I would look at and go, man, this would be a good thing or that'd be a good thing. I could probably do more in the respect to, maybe events, retreats, outings for them. They don't have to be heavy duty things like big things, but sometimes that's hard to schedule with everyone's schedule. But the importance of getting time together, I think, as a group is always a good thing. It's always good for the building of the team, the camaraderie, and the DVM can be a part of that. That's always a big deal. I just know in the past, things that we've done as a division events team are always some of the best times, whether it's trips or whether it's just meals or whatever it might be. That's a really big deal. I think being together would be a real big thing in that process.
There's not a whole lot, quite honestly. Most of the stuff that I do specifically related with them is designed to be a lot of fun. I think that they respect me. I think they offer a lot of value to me. I consider a lot of these people friends and feel like that I can talk to these people about just about anything. If I had to pick something, the one thing I wish I was a little bit better at with them is just their goals. I really feel like even though I have a list of goals of what they're trying to do every month, and we can use the quantums and so forth to see how they're doing, maybe more time planning those goals so they're more specific to the number of events they're going to be able to run, so their goals are more specific or compared to last year or the year before. And also, I want to really dive into this year some of their financial goals and allowing them to allow me basically to hold them accountable to making sure that their finances are in a position where they want to be. As a district manager and a division manager, I've had great financial years, and I've also had some years that aren't so great. But because of those trials and tribulations, I feel like I've learned a lot of things, and being able to share those things to people that want to listen is really important, and especially if I can hold them accountable to that success that they have already, want to happen already, I think would be a really big deal.
I give a lot of props to my events team. There's not much more that I would wish or ask of them to do aside from keep learning and growing themselves, and just to continue to be patient with me. We're experiencing some awesome growth in Cavalier, and my team knows that this is growth that is new to all of us. I just ask they continue to stay patient with me as a division manager as I learn and grow myself with the program that's continuing to grow. But together we're going to make it work and continue to make this a pretty awesome program moving forward.
The only thing that I could come up with this would possibly be if maybe they just offered up and shared their goals more often. But my events team, again, they help a ton with our divisional events. They're always open to speak when I ask. And so they're adding value outside of the events team, which is great. And I genuinely enjoy the people that are on my events team too. So there's really not much that I could say other than there's a lot of stuff I could talk to about, like, what do I want Seth to do differently, Kinzer, but I'm not going to get into that here.